The majestic tale of the pure white swan. Immerse yourself in the tranquility of a forest that whispers tales of enchantment. A place where the trees stand tall, their leaves rustling gently with the breeze, and the air is filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. This forest is a sanctuary, a haven of peace, and a symphony of nature's most beautiful melodies. Within this captivating forest, a diverse community of animals thrives. From the smallest insects to the most majestic of creatures, each plays an essential role in maintaining the harmony of the forest. They live together, respecting the rules of nature, creating a balance that breathes life into the forest. In a quiet corner of this forest, by a tranquil lake, resides a white swan named Serenity. Graceful as a ballerina, she glides on the lake's surface, her reflection a mirror image of elegance. Her plumage, as white as snow, glistens in the sunlight, creating a sight that's nothing short of breathtaking. Serenity is not just renowned for her beauty, but also her wisdom. She is respected by all, her sage advice sought by many. Her calm demeanor and thoughtful gaze reflect her knowledge of the forest and its inhabitants. Her wisdom is as deep as the lake she calls home. Each day, Serenity follows a routine that's as rhythmic as the forest's heartbeat. She glides across the lake, her movements painting ripples on the serene water. She's a vision of elegance and grace, her routine a dance that celebrates the beauty of life. The forest was more than a home to Serenity, it was a kingdom full of life, stories, and love. Every morning, she would glide across the lake, her elegant form reflected in the placid waters as the forest inhabitants watched in silent awe. The bond Serenity shared with the denizens of the forest was one of mutual respect and admiration. Her grace was a beacon of light for them, a symbol of the harmony and serenity that the forest embodied. However, a shadow soon fell upon the forest. The once lush greenery started to wither, the vibrant flowers lost their colors, and the animals began to fret. There was a whisper of worry in the wind, a fear that hung heavy in the air. The forest was losing its charm, its essence slowly seeping away. The animals huddled together, their eyes reflecting a shared concern. Their home was changing, and they didn't know why. Observing the changes, our white swan, Serenity, felt a pang of sorrow. She saw the fear in the eyes of her friends and the fading beauty of her beloved forest. She decided to investigate what was causing this imbalance. With a determined heart and a brave spirit, she embarked on her journey, promising the worried eyes that she would find a solution. In her quest for answers, Serenity came across an old owl, known for his wisdom and knowledge. His eyes held stories of the past, his feathers were like ancient scrolls harboring secrets. To Serenity's inquiry, he revealed the existence of a magical gem. This gem, he said, held the power to restore the forest to its original beauty and vitality. Serenity was faced with a decision. She could stay, live her days in the fading beauty of the forest, or she could embark on a journey to find the gem. Touched by the sorrowful eyes of her friends and the wilting beauty of her home, she chose the latter. With a newfound resolve, Serenity set her mind to find the gem and save her forest. There came a day when Serenity, the white swan, made a profound decision. She'd observed the forest's gradual decay and decided to take the initiative. Not one to stand by while her beloved home wilted, she resolved to find the magical gem that could restore the forest to its former glory. Her journey began at dawn, under the soft glow of the morning sun. The forest whispered tales of unknown paths and adventures as she ventured deeper into the unknown. She was faced with challenges and obstacles that tested her resolve, but her determination remained unwavering. One day, she came across a sly fox, his eyes gleaming with mischief. He tried to deter her from her path, convincing her to abandon her quest with tales of the terrifying beasts that guarded the gem. But Serenity was not easily fooled, she had lived long enough to recognize deception. Calling upon her wisdom, she listened to the fox's words but chose her path wisely. She thanked the fox for his advice, but continued on her journey, undeterred by his attempts at deception. The fox, surprised and somewhat disappointed, could only watch as she gracefully proceeded towards her goal. Her journey didn't stop there. She met other creatures along the way, each trying to dissuade her from her mission. Yet, Serenity remained steadfast, her determination fueling her strength. She knew that the well-being of her forest was in her wings, and she had no intention of letting it down. Serenity, the white swan, was a beacon of resilience. In the face of adversity, she held on to the hope that sparked within her. The forest she loved was fading, and the animals she called family were in distress. Yet, she remained undeterred, her determination solid as a rock. The path to the mountain was fraught with dangers and tests of courage. Every thorn, every stone was a hurdle. But Serenity overcame them, one after another, unfazed by the magnitude of the task. Her wings, though weary, never failed her, her spirit, though tested, never wavered. As she reached the foot of the mountain, she found herself staring at the towering peak where the magical gem was hidden. The sight was intimidating, the climb steep. She knew the ascent would be arduous, but her resolve was unwavering. She was ready to conquer the mountain for her beloved forest. The climb was grueling. Each step was a struggle, each breath was a challenge. But Serenity was relentless. She pushed through the fatigue, the pain, and the fear. Her heart pounded in her chest, but her eyes remained focused on the peak. With every inch she scaled, she was closer to her goal. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, she reached the peak. And there it was, the magical gem, shimmering under the sunlight, waiting to be discovered. A wave of relief washed over Serenity. Her eyes sparkled with joy, her heart filled with triumph. She had done it. She had found the gem. Serenity's heart was filled with indescribable joy and relief when she finally laid her eyes on the magical gem. It sparkled with an ethereal glow, promising hope and a return to the peaceful days. She held it gently in her beak, aware of its immense power and the responsibility it carried. It was a moment of victory, not just for her, but for the entire forest. With the gem safely tucked away, she started her journey back to the forest. The journey was long and arduous, but the thought of the forest's restoration kept her going. She flew across the meadows, over the hills, and through the clouds, her wings echoing the songs of triumph. Each flap brought her closer to her home, to her family, to the forest she so dearly loved. As she descended onto the forest, the inhabitants broke into an uproar of cheers. She was welcomed as a hero, the savior of their home. Animals, big and small, came out to greet her, their eyes gleaming with respect and gratitude. The forest was buzzing with excitement, and Serenity could feel her heart swell with pride. Without wasting any time, the magical gem was put to use. It was placed in the heart of the forest, and a dazzling light enveloped everything. The light was warm and comforting, like the first ray of sun after a long, cold night. As it faded, the forest stood transformed. The trees were greener, the flowers bloomed brighter, the lake shimmered under the sun, and the air was filled with fresh, sweet aromas. The forest was alive again, breathing and singing, its beauty restored. To commemorate the victory, the animals held a grand celebration. They danced around the gem, their hearts brimming with joy. They thanked Serenity, their words filled with genuine gratitude for her bravery and wisdom. The forest echoed with laughter and merriment, a clear contrast to the somber mood that had once prevailed. Serenity looked at her home, her family, and couldn't help but feel a deep sense of fulfillment and happiness. The animals of the forest held a grand celebration in honor of Serenity, their hero. Their joy knew no bounds as they thanked her wholeheartedly. They sang songs, danced, and expressed their gratitude. The entire forest echoed with the sound of their merriment and heartfelt appreciation. Serenity, the graceful swan, felt a deep sense of fulfillment and happiness. She had not undertaken the journey for accolades, but the love and appreciation she received filled her heart with warmth. The spark in her eyes reflected the peace and satisfaction she felt. As the celebrations came to a close, the forest returned to its peaceful rhythm. Serenity continued to glide across the lake, living peacefully among the rejuvenated flora and fauna. Her heroism had become a part of the forest's lore, a story whispered among the trees. The tale of Serenity's bravery and wisdom served as a moral for the forest's inhabitants and beyond. It demonstrated that wisdom, courage, and determination could conquer any challenge. It was not just physical strength, but the strength of character that truly mattered. The story ended with a note for children, encouraging them to always believe in themselves and strive for the greater good. It taught them that every challenge was an opportunity to grow, and each problem, a chance to find a solution. Serenity's tale was a beacon of hope, inspiring all who heard it.